a recipe to follow along with?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It's
Yes.
you and Karen today. Okay. So I'll keep your voice going on louder. So first thing first. This was a Daisy's request for the chili rellenos because she wanted to figure out how to replace all the cheese.
Okay.
So we're going to use ricotta, tofu ricotta. So right, ricotta is usually in an Italian dish where you do it in like a raviolis or maybe a lasagna. It's kind of that Kurdish type of cheese, kind of like a soft cheese. So we're going to use tofu to make that texture and mix it with some herbs and replace that as a cheese substitute to stuff inside of the poblano.
So that's
Chili.
the powder, the powder, is that what?
Yeah. So that's what we're going to start with, all right?
What kind of chili rellenos did you get? The mild, hot, or really hot?
We're going to do the mild. We're going to do the poblano peppers with a couple small jalapenos on the inside. Karen, I can't remember. Do you like spicy? I feel like you do.
I do. I don't like it so spicy.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it.
A little spice good? Okay. We can change that with how much cheese we have. Hi, Julio.
How are you? How
Good
you doing?
morning.
Can you hear me?
Okay, we're going to start with that ricotta. That's on the back side of the recipe. So first things first, we're going to get our tofu.
Can you
We
hear me?
got this extra firm tofu from Trader Joe's. All right. Just a reminder of our tofu. It's one of our plant foods that is a complete protein source. So what I mean by that is that there's 9 amino acids we have to have every day in our diet. And amino acids are the building block for protein.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Julio.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so our animal proteins are complete sources of complete protein, so they have all 9 amino acids. But our plant proteins have some or less. Usually not all of them, but tofu has all 9 amino acids. Tofu and our quinoa that we'll be using later. This is a really great protein source, especially when you're following normal plant-based diet without all the animal protein. So what we're going to do with this tofu, we're just going to break it up into crumbles and I'm going to put it into the food processor. Okay.
Can you use goat cheese?
You said goat cheese?
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to use goat cheese, that would probably have the similar crumble to it. But if you want to get away from the dairy in general, the tofu is a great substitute. Tofu also has fiber in it, which our animal proteins don't. And we often use a little bit more fiber in our diet because we're usually lacking our fruits and vegetables. So it's a good substitute to add in and have variety with.
All right.
See. So we drain the tofu and break it up with my hand, replace it in with other ingredients to the food processor. Okay. Almost just got faster. Okay. So do you guys want to read to me what the other ingredients are besides the tofu?
A clove of garlic.
Okay. I got that. I just want to make sure. I put everything in a bowl ahead of time, so let me double check. I didn't miss anything. Go ahead.
And a half a teaspoon of kosher salt.
Okay.
A quarter of a teaspoon of pepper.
Okay.
A small handful of fresh cilantro and thyme.
Okay. So for the chives, I just got the green onion. And I just, yeah, I used the white onion part of it and the end. So I used the whole thing. You can kind of make this your own ricotta if you wanted. So for more like a Mexican dish, I use the cilantro. And and the chives, but if you want to make like an Italian dish, then you can use parsley and basil as your herbs. So it's an herb ricotta tofu recipe. So it's really versatile, depending on I guess, the cultural food that you're making. Okay, so you see the half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, and pepper. Okay, that's the peppers. Okay. All right. Got the cilantro, the chives, and then it says even oregano, right? So let's add some oregano. That might be a nice touch. These are all optional things. If you don't have them, that's fine. Should I say? They didn't say how much, but we're just going to put a little bit of oregano. Let's add a touch to it, one more flavor. Okay, what else do we have?
2 tablespoons of olive oil or more for extra richness.
Okay. Let's add the olive oil again, because what I'm thinking if I do in the food processor, it might turn it to mush. Or rather, maybe we'll coat it.
And that's it.
Okay, and then I said optional additional.
Oh,
Did you-
I'm sorry, 1 teaspoon of
Okay. All right. So this nutritional yeast, Julio, Ron, do you know what nutritional yeast is?
No.
All right. Karen, you're familiar with nutritional yeast, are you? Not
I
really?
know that it helps give it a cheesy flavor,
Yeah.
but it has that nutritional, I know.
Yeah. So this nutritional yeast basically is deactivated yeast. So it's not the kind of yeast that makes the bread rise. It's more of used for flavor of food. So that cheesy flavor, like Karen said, it gives a lot of flavor, especially in these recipes where we're trying to make cheese alternatives. So vitamins it has lots of B vitamins, which is really important for our energy. And something also very unique is it's very high in fiber and protein. So I'll show you here. Have you seen this in person? What it kind of looks like? Little flake. It almost looks like. I'll show you guys if you can see it. This is the yeast. It's like a flaky powder. It's a little bit of a yellow tinge to it. Kind of like mustard powder. Yeah.
Looks like brown sugar.
And protein. Looks like brown sugar in there. Yeah, definitely not sweet. I would say it looks more like brown mustard powder. I know it's probably a different color on the screen. But it has about, I think it's like 5 grams of fiber for every 2 tablespoons, which is a lot, and then 6 grams of protein for every couple tablespoons. So that's a lot for, actually, I think that's for a whole cup. It's half that. It's about 3 grams of protein for 2 tablespoons for the nutrition. It's 6 grams for a whole cup. Yeah. So anyways, we're gonna add a little bit of this. You can do more or less, you know, how cheesy you want it or how much of that flavor you want. We'll do 3 tablespoons. That's a good amount. Okay.
And I went to Clark's grocery store.
Clark's, you can find it at Stater Brothers. The brand, I don't have the bottle. It's a common brand. It's called Bragg's, Braggs, and it comes in like a large cylinder bottle, kind of like a salt shaker bottle, but larger. Kind of like making a bottle. Kind of like this shape, right? Like a big larger container like that.
No, I went to clutch it. I felt like I was an outsider.
What is the what?
I felt like I was the outsider. Everybody was looking at me.
Looking at you?
Yeah.
Oh, your brothers?
At Clark, I was like, okay, what's going on here?
Did you go
What
to
did
Clark?
I went Saturday.
Oh, you did? Did you find some good stuff?
No, I felt I was the outsider. Everybody was looking at me.
I think you were thinking too much about it. I don't think they really. Sometimes we're more conscientious about that than they actually are looking at us.
I felt, okay, what did I do wrong?
It's because it was your first time there, so. Or was it your first time or no?
I felt weird.
Okay, we're gonna blend this, okay?
Yes.
I forgot to put the herbs in. Hold on. So when we're gonna pulse this just a few times. We don't want it to get too mushy. We want it to have a nice crumble, kind of like the texture of ricotta. So let's keep that in mind, and we'll toss it a few times. So okay. Oh, and it's not. All right, we're getting there. Let's toss it. All right, and with our tofu is very bland, so we have to add a lot of flavor to it. So adding that nutritional yeast. That's why I was like, let's do the 3 teaspoons. And adding all those herbs, important to make sure it has a lot of flavor.
It's not good.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think? You think that's a good texture? Does that look productive to you?
Yes, it does. Oh, yeah.
All right, can you guys see that? The lighting's always kind of funky. They're right, it's sticking to each other, so kind of like ricotta cheese, but it still has a crumb to it.
Aye.
That's what we're aiming for. All right, so we got that done. We're gonna put this off to the side, okay? Oh, let's have a little bit of olive oil right now. I'm gonna take these. Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna pour the olive oil on top. Just real lightly. Okay, and I'll toss it in there. And then we'll move on to making the sauce, okay? Now this really did not make Oh, but we're gonna toss it with some more things. So actually, let's go back to the other page. Go to number 3. Make the filling. So we're gonna add this first tofu to the black beans. Yeah. So front page number 3, make the filling. I already roasted the peppers, so kind of ignore that. It says mix the canned beans, which I put in here already, with some cumin, chili powder, and dairy-free mozzarella. So I got more of this Trader Joe's mozzarella. We like this one. It melted well. It to make things more simpler. But this is kind of nice to try.
Oh, it's good to see you.
And it's a good texture, so it's kind of more mouthfeel. But we'll put this on top, so we'll save this at the end.
Yeah.
So it says you can use that mozzarella or the tofu. Okay, so we're going to use the tofu. Okay, so I'm just going to mix it in. So after I roasted the onions, I took a third of the batch onions and chopped them up, just a third of them. Chopped them up, just not too perfect, but in chunks. And I mixed it in with the drained and rinsed black beans and the cumin and the chili powder. Okay, so I already have that in the bowl here. And yeah.
So you just saute it, is that what you do? You said you roasted it. Is that
I roasted the oven. So I'll show you in a second what I put on the sheet pan for the roasted veggies.
okay?
So I took it from there.
Alright.
And it roasted really nice and caramelized beautifully. So I was really happy with that. Okay, so I'm gonna mix these things together. There. Right? I think the rubber spatula is my best friend. I probably use a fork, it probably makes it a little bit better, but the rubber spatula is so nice because it doesn't scrape anything and make all the noises, so.
It does a good job of mixing them, and it's looking
Yes. Yeah.
just the right size.
I know, little spin spatula. So, okay, and our black beans, I didn't talk much about them, but all our beans are good sources of protein. They don't have all of those amino acids, but all 9 of them, like I was talking about, is necessary every day to be a complete source of protein, but it does have a lot of them. So if you pair it with rice, like brown rice, the brown rice and the bean combination will make a complete source of protein. Now, you don't have to have them in the same meal. It's more of getting all 9 of those amino acids throughout the day. So, if you have beans for lunch and rice for dinner, that will be a complete source of protein for you.
How about grits?
For what?
How about grits?
Grapes?
Grits.
I think we got a little bit of protein, but I would say that's not a great source. That's a community has other vitamins, antioxidants. Alright, so you guys, I mixed this herb tofu with the beans. This is going to be our stuffing for the peppers. Okay? So, nice, huh? Okay, we'll put this aside. Okay, there's that. We're gonna pull out the blender. Okay? My favorite. Something going there. Okay. if you are at home, this is where you would start. You would roast your vegetables. You roast, basically, I already did this too, I'll show you. So, you want to get the big, I think I overdid them a little bit. Big green poblano peppers. So, extra large. They come in all sizes, but try to get the biggest one because they're nicer to stuff with. All right, we got those big peppers, the poblano peppers. I roasted those with jalapenos. So basically on a big sheet pan, you might have to do 2 sheet pans because it's a lot of roasting. But you don't slice these in half yet. You just put them whole pieces on top. You put whole garlics on there, and then the jalapenos, tomatoes, you're gonna cut those in half. And then
Do you kill 'em?
you just roughly chop in thick slices.
Do you peel them?
So this is kind of what I put together all on a big sheet pan.
Do you peel them?
I did not peel them.
Okay.
Just have some of those vegetables that I talked about, and you're gonna roast it for about 15 minutes. Now, let me say there's a difference between baking and roasting. So when I make my enchilada sauce, I bake my peppers and my onions, my tomatoes, and it took forever. It took an hour to get that nice roasted look to it. I actually put my oven on the roasted steady this time, and it roasted really nice for 15 minutes. So definitely make sure you use the right setting. When something says to roast, roast. When it says bake, bake. It makes sense, but it's just different types of heat the way it maneuvers throughout the oven. Okay? So yeah, they started crisping up real nice in 15 minutes. I took some of the onions because they were starting to brown, and the garlic off because those were really brown and tender. You're basically just looking for tenderness. If your peppers start getting tender and brown, take those off too. But I let the tomatoes is what took the longest. Yeah. So my tomatoes had to go for a half hour. So you kind of do it in batches of 15. So put the timer on for 15 minutes. Check it. Take your onion or take your garlics off. Take any peppers that are looking brown, tender, and maybe even your onions. Put it back in for another 15 minutes, and then take everything out at that point. Okay? And this is what it looks like. So this is where we're at. Let's see. So that's basically all step number 2, roast. Okay, so then we just did the filling. So let's go to step number 6. We're going to blend up the sauce. Okay? So some of the onions we use for our ricotta. The rest of our onions we're going to put in here, along with our tomatoes, jalapenos, garlic, and all the juices. So everything that comes out of the sheet pan, put in here as well. And then we're going to put in some of the seasonings and tomato paste. So let's go ahead and
So we need to add jalapenos, as an ingredient in the sauce.
why not add it? That makes sense. Yeah. Oh. I'm sorry, I know it's confusing. So the roast section is up there. The roast and the sauce are kind of in the same category. Maybe I should rearrange that on the rest of the sheet.
You were just saying the put in the blender.
Yeah. So all our roasted veggies are going to go in the blender.
Oh,
And then in addition to the spices and the sauce category. Yeah. So the roast and the sauce are all really good in the sauce.
and these two are provided.
Yeah. The roast and sauce are combined. Yep. Yeah. They really should go all over.
That's all.
Okay, so I want to bake them gently. Very juicy. Now, some people will de-seed the tomatoes or take the skin off. You can do that. It's more work, but you could do that. You could blend just the tomatoes themselves, and then put them through like a strainer, a fine mesh strainer, and get all the seeds out that way.
They won't hurt us.
Yeah, they won't hurt us, exactly. Okay. So, now the question is, do we keep the seeds in the jalapenos? Maybe I'll take out some.
Okay.
Just in case. Yeah, jalapenos can get spicy. I guess they're not like ghost peppers. All wrong.
Oh, love it, love it.
But I think like parents, like once it's spicy, you can't taste the food, that's it.
Yeah. It takes,
Takes away from the other joys of food. Right. Just pushing everything over here.
I'm surprised you don't feel the chilies.
Yeah, I mean, the chili skins do naturally start to peel off from the poblano ones, like especially when I slice them in half before we're gonna stuff them. The skins did lift up, and I did peel a little bit because it's kind of like plastic.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll show you.
But aren't you gonna taste the burn? The skin burn?
Yeah, it did start to burn. Yeah, so you could peel them, but it comes off really nicely though after you roast them. So especially the top where it was exposed to the heat. The bottom wasn't burned, but the top was separated with the skin and it burned a little more. Yeah.
That'd be good if you put them in barbecue. Put them in the barbecue and
Yeah, you can put them in the barbecue and give them a nice grill and a taste as well. That would be delicious.
you'll be crying.
Yeah. I'm not very good at barbecue. That would be good. Okay, all right, so here's all our pan sheet. You have the tomatoes, the jalapenos, the onions, and the garlic in here. And then what else are we gonna add? Let's see. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We can put that in now. And then we're gonna put all those spices, the cumin, the oregano, coriander, salt, and then we have, let's do that. So I already put all the dry seasoning and spices in here. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in. Chili powder, it's all in here. And then, let's see.
now where does it say the olive oil?
Oh, you know what, Karen? That was on the roasting part, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I guess it won't hurt, but you're right, I shouldn't have done that. So that was for the roasting section. So when you're roasting all the vegetables, drizzle some olive oil bread. Oops. Oh well, extra antioxidants. Yeah, I won't hurt it. I didn't need to do that.
Okay, so I'll write it down.
Don't have that one. Okay. And then we're gonna put a tablespoon of tomato paste. This is optional. I like to get the tomato paste in the tub because it lasts longer, right? You don't usually use the whole thing of tomato paste. So I'm just gonna kind of guesstimate this. That looks about a tablespoon. Okay. All right. And then what else do we need to add? Okay. Now this in here. Fresh cilantro. Put it in. Do you remember the benefit of cilantro and how it helps with blood sugars? Okay, so cilantro, it's very tasty, and a lot of recipes It's a great herb, so our herbs have more antioxidants than a lot of our vegetables, our spices, and our herbs. The cilantro, it creates this enzyme that helps remove sugar from the blood. So it can help with diabetes significantly.
Cilantro?
Cilantro, so it has a lot of cilantro. If you enjoy it, it can be really helpful in decreasing blood sugars.
In large doses, or is it?
Yeah, a little in a high amount.
Okay.
So, I mean, you could really add it to anything, any dish you're gonna have throughout the day, and as long as you're not sick of cilantro. That's why our herbs are so good, especially the fresh ones to use, because they go well with all our food.
Where can you get that?
Cilantro? You can get it at the grocery store in the produce section.
The cilantro.
Yeah, by the parsley.
The cilantro.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's
For
one cilantro.
For diabetes? I never heard of that.
It can help, yeah. I don't know what the enzyme's called, but it basically stimulates this enzyme during digestion, and it helps pull the sugars from the blood.
That's good.
For some people, they respond really well, and their sugars go too low.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. It's kind of one of those natural remedies that can be helpful.
That's fancy.
Yeah. So, okay, and our tomatoes, I didn't talk about, like I talked about, our onions have that quercetin antioxidant, which kind of gives it, and the flavonoid, which is our anti-inflammatory antioxidant, very powerful, and they're kind of known for those white vegetables, like potatoes or white onions. And then the red color in tomatoes is a result of the antioxidant called lycopene. Okay, and it also helps protect it from the sun as well. And so tomatoes are a really great source of vitamin C and vitamin A. And did you guys know that? Can you tell which foods are high in vitamin C and which ones are not high in vitamin C? There's a little secret that you can just do by observing to know if a food is a good source of vitamin C or not. Okay, I'm going to let you know the secret. So, if you cut into a fruit or vegetable and it browns, it oxidizes, it means it's not a good source of vitamin C. So, apples, bananas, even like potatoes, right? Those start to brown. Those are not good sources of vitamin C. But right, what do we do with our avocado when we reach the night? So now I need to put some lime on it. I'm gonna do that right now. So, right, our limes, our lemons, our we can hear you. That's good. You got it.
She just told me right after class.
Good. Well, never too late. I'm glad what you guys think. We're just getting started, right? No one's coming at any point here. So we're making chili-rianas. This is Daisy. Well, this is, something we talked about, and we talked about it. It's like, oh, yeah. This sounds really good. We also are going to make it called a pole, right? Am I saying it right, Daisy? Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
But that was a little too complicated. Let's start to do that another time. But my niece Daisy was talking to me about and asking for more ideas. Sorry, you're getting yelled of how to replace some of the dairy options. Right, because the dairy can cause a lot of phlegm, especially when it's difficult, especially for breathing and whatnot. And we don't want to make it any harder than it has to in our body. So dairy can promote a lot of phlegm. So one thing we did, which, how about you settle in for a second? I'm going to squeeze this lime off the bottom, and I'll tell you what we just did, okay? Trick with limes, if you want to get more juice out of it, you can roll it, and it kind before you even cut into it. Right? Because then you cut into it and then you're trying to squeeze it and it's just too difficult to just start rolling it before it. And then taking out a line, you guys know the rule behind that, how to find a juicy one? Yeah, you can push to see if it stays soft, and also the smoother the texture is, the juicier it will be. So you'll start noticing the soft ones, squishy ones, are smoother look. So before even touching it, you can just visually look for the smooth texture. And let me see if I have this one. I don't know if they're all smooth, but I'll let you guys look. You guys have a smooth texture to them?
Oh, yeah.
Versus kind of like the raised up palms, not ripened. So look for smooth textures. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so then, now to keep our avocado from browning and lime and avocado to go well with each other, so I'm going to squeeze a little bit of that on top so it doesn't oxidize.
Oh,
And turn it around.
really?
I have mixed the lime with my guacamole, and I feel like it's even greener the next day than what I started with. So it really helps make the green color even more vibrant. So yeah, that's a nice step. And we were saying, how can you tell if a fruit or a vegetable is a good source of vitamin C? Did I tell you that last time?
Yes, we did.
Do you remember? I just explained it to them.
Yeah, everything that goes brown means that it doesn't have a vitamin C.
Yeah, yeah. Great. I just put this one.
That is so good to know.
Yeah.
So apples don't have vitamin C,
No.
banana. Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
You're eating all this stuff that is good for you.
I mean, it's still
It's
good.
good, but it doesn't have the vitamin C.
Mm-hmm. It's so easy to get enough vitamin C too without even taking a supplement. So, but if you're like, okay, I just want to make sure you get my immune system good, right? A, you have to have a fruit or a vegetable. That's where it starts. And that's kind of our problem is we don't have enough fruits and vegetables. So that's why it's hard to get enough vitamin C and we supplement it. But if we have a fruit or vegetable and it doesn't brown easily, the more likely that you get enough for the day. Not too hard to vitamin C. If we have our fruits or vegetables, so yeah. So they say people that take supplements are the ones that usually don't need it. Which is kind of interesting because they're more mindful and they're already having their fruits and vegetables. Maybe they don't usually need it, but it's the people that don't have their fruits and vegetables and they don't take the supplements, which is it's just a little survey that I read, which is interesting. So anyway, I don't know what categories you guys fall into, if that's true or not, but yeah. So, okay, a little back history on what we just did, okay? So, we made this for our stuffing, we're going to stuff the piranha peppers with a ricotta Mexican style cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. What's the true pronunciation? I think in Italy it's ricotta.
Okay, we'll be in it.
I think. It doesn't look like that, but yeah, my family is Italian and make fun of me when I say ricotta, so I have to like think ahead of time before saying it.
That's what we'll take.
Ricotta.
I'll take whatever. I'll believe what you say.
So, yeah, a little more marvelous than the word. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's ricotta. Anyway, so yeah, the ricotta, it's that lasagna. You can put a spread of lasagna or stuff with raviolis. Okay, that's usually where you'll use that kind of cheese. But we're going to use it to stuff our peppers, and we use tofu to give it that crumbly texture. So I just got the extra firm tofu. Yeah, I'll show you guys that too. You can get this tofu from anywhere. You can get it at Stairs, you can get it at Sprouts, Traders, Traders. I got the sprouted kind. Sprouted, anytime you can buy sprouted because it releases more nutrients when you get sprouted version. Okay, so I got this one at Trader's, but you can get this lots of places. It doesn't need to be sprouted, but the tofu. Okay, so the extra firm is different firmness. Get the extra firm because it holds it extra better, so it'll make a nice crumble. If you get like a soft one or a silky one, it'll just kind of turn to mush and turn to a smoothie type of texture. We don't want that. We want, right, we want to have this nice kind of ricotta type crumbly texture.
So extra firm for the sprouted.
Yeah. So what we did is I broke it up with my hands, put it into the food processor. Okay. I suppose the food processor is nice because it really breaks it down to the texture you want. You could probably take a fork and kind of smash it, but you won't get that fine crumble. And if you put it in the blender, what happens with the blender is it all gets stuck at the bottom. And it's hard to kind of lift through. They'll probably blend too smoothly. Versus a food processor. See how it's got a wider bottom? It's easier to access the bottom and it spreads out better so it's not so clumped together. And it's easier to get that same consistency throughout the whole batter. So that's the food processor. Okay. So we just did that. We added some herbs. Since we're doing more of a Mexican dish, we did the cilantro and the chives and oregano. So if you want to do like Italian, you would do the basil and parsley type of seasoning. So this is on the back, right? It's optional. You can stuff it with this herb tofu filling. Yeah, that one. You can stuff it with that, or you can use that cheese we did last time from Trader Joe's, mozzarella cheese. So you can either make this, or if you don't have enough time, but you want to make some stuffed peppers, we can just use this over filling instead. Okay. Okay. And then we just mix it with some black bean and some onion and cumin. So to make our sauce, we roasted, Karen will show you a picture, but we did on a big sheet pan. We cut our tomatoes in half, we cut our jalapenos in half, we just put whole garlic cloves on there, and thick chunks of onion. Roasted it for about 15 to 30 minutes. And I was telling these guys, you guys know there's a difference between roast and baked stuff. Because the first time I made the enchilada sauce, I did the bake setting, and it took about an hour. Much longer to cook. It didn't do the right thing. So roasting. I think baking might put heat on the top, and then roasting kind of brings heat all around. Yeah. So roasting, I think it's where the heat comes from the oven, is the spot. I think the heat comes from like all around in the oven, versus baking just comes on top.
Yeah, most goes like this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I have one,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Does that make sense that you take the rotisserie on and you throw it all around? Yeah. So put it on the right setting. If the recipe says roast it. It makes a big difference. So I put the peppers, I just put whole peppers on there, and these are the poblano peppers. Just stuck them all on there. And with all the other vegetables, just a little bit of olive oil and stuck it in there. 15 minutes. Whenever it looks like it was browning or tender, take that out. But the tomatoes take the longest. So you gotta put it in for another 15 minutes. Let it cook more, and then take everything out. Cool it down, and then we'll add all the vegetables, everything except for the peppers, into the blender.
how do you the skin?
That's what Ron was saying. So I didn't remove the skin, you could. You can see you don't want the skin out, it comes off really nicely after roasting. I would probably flip it, I already peeled this off, so that's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean, you do it, and you do it, and wrap it and bake it in that, and come on, bake
Don't
it.
bake it. Oh.
No, and egg.
Yeah. Yeah, you can take this now, because I feel like it's not plasticky. So what you can do, when you do it again, what I would do for the first 15 minutes, lay it like this, and then flip it, yeah. That way both sides, it literally, I already peeled it, but it would like literally tear it up, separate it completely. That way you don't have to take a peeler or boil them or anything, if you just roast them, the skin will come off really nicely. So, we'll see how it is. We'll see if it's plasticky, but hopefully it'll be okay. Okay, so let's blend this, okay? I think we have everything in there. We will add the vegetable broth if we need to, it's more just to get it going.
Okay.
We're gonna see if this is enough. Okay. Okay. All right, and that's our sauce. Not too bad, right? You roast it, put everything in here, blend it up. Nice easy way. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit of the sauce and put it all together now. Just a little bit of baking dishes. Really roast stuff right there. So I'm gonna pour a little bit at the bottom. Okay. A little bit at the bottom. And now we're gonna stuff it and put it in here. Bottom of it, okay? So let's go to stuff and put bottom. Okay, so carefully split it from the stem all the way to the bottom, so it opens up so we can stuff it. I already did that. So place the remaining onion and stuff it. Okay, number 7, front page. Okay, and I also already did this too. Gently remove all the seeds while rinsing it under cold water. That comes off really easily. Right, the seeds are kind of the top, so you can literally just pull them down. They're all clumped together, and that comes off really nicely. And then I put some paper towels below it to kind of like blot off all the water. Rinse it. The water really helps get all the seeds out. You can keep some seeds, it doesn't hurt, but that's what I did. Okay. So we line the baking dish with aluminum foil. Pour about half of the roasted tomato sauce at the bottom. A little bit more, a little bit more. And now what's the next step?
Place the peppers on top of the sauce.
Okay.
Select slide up and pan on the black bean filling into each one.
Okay. So let's see. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see what it is. Okay. I'll just look. I know we didn't batter with the egg. That is something else you could do for extra. Batter the egg, you can put even some flour. You could do flour.
I think if you do flour, that's what I'm gonna do. I know because it's not hard when my mom used to do it like it was not a chile peruano, but it was a green pepper.
Yeah.
So, but she used to not to bake it, but then she used to like, burn it a little in the pan or the tomato, and the pan, and you make a tortilla. So, and then she burn it a little bit to the right, and put it in the bag. So we just keep them out. And then after like it's already soft, so and then cut it, take care of all the stuff or whatever, and then put the stuff inside. And then make the egg with the it's a lot of.
Yeah.
This one is a little fast.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So can you guys see that what I'm doing?
Yes.
I'm just stuffing it in, wrap it on top. It's not gonna close perfectly, but.
That's all right, it'll be easier to eat.
Right? And like that, put it in the pan and bake it with the sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, and the sauce recipe isn't too hard, right? You can get the canned sauce from the store. But this way we make our own, it's gonna be really fresh, and we can control how much salt we put in it. I put a half a teaspoon total,
1 teaspoon of salt.
1 teaspoon. So breaking apart, that's probably about a little less than 300 milligrams per serving. And our vegetable, well, we didn't even use our vegetable broth.
Right.
So yeah, we won't have any from there. Our beans, the Trader Joe's did have a little bit of sea salt. I did drain and rinse it, so some of it comes out from that. But the Sprouts has no salt added in their beef and beef. We're using beans from scratch. So whatever species does. Okay. See. And, so right, we didn't use any ground beef or anything in here, but we're still gonna have enough protein for ourselves. So, to kind of compare it to meat, 3 ounces is about a deck of cards. So 3 ounces is about a deck of cards, so it's about the palm of your hand, and a little bit of, but everyone's got different size palm hands, right? So think of a deck of cards. It's 3 ounces. Now, beef has about 21 grams of protein in 3 ounces.
What?
Beef.
Okay.
Chicken has a little bit more, 26 grams of protein. Tofu has 8 grams. So about half, a little less than half. Not as much, but the reality is we don't need as much protein as we think we do. So if you, as we do age, we do need more protein, but it also can be really hard on our kidneys, right? As we age, our kidneys start to decline. Some of us goes faster or slower. But the reality is for our kidneys, as they're starting to decline, we don't want as much protein. So it, depending on your body and your health and where your kidneys are at, but if your doctor says you have kidney disease, or stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, right, it progresses, you want to start limiting protein a little bit too. And so having enough is important, but not too much. And so when we do more of these plant-based foods with a lesser amount of protein, it helps you get enough without too much. Is basically what I'm trying to get at.
So how much do you think we need for protein like the beef? Or just
So,
I mean, it depends on the
not spring chickens.
Yeah.
well,
Not all the time now.
yeah, it's kind of a balance too, because if you're having more of a workload of breathing, you might need more for that, but you also need to balance and making sure your kidneys are okay.
Wait, if you have more,
Like workload, like you're breathing more, like that
it's harder to breathe.
Yeah, if it's harder to breathe, that means you're using more energy and more protein.
So you need more
So you
protein.
need more. Yeah, so it really is.
We need more.
That's Yeah, good job, guys. Good job. So how I calculate it, kind of think of a basic maintenance amount for an average person would be, let's say you take your body weight and you gotta convert it to kilograms, okay? So let's say you're 100 pounds divided by 2. I'm just thinking of it like, let's say 200 pounds, okay, so 200, that'd be about 90-ish grams. Okay, that'd be about 90-ish grams a day if you were 200 pounds. Right? Oh, I'm sorry, because you divide that by 2.2, so you get your weight in kilograms, and you times it by 4. So if it comes out to about 90 kilograms, that's your kilogram weight, then you need about 9 grams of protein for maintenance, okay? If your kidneys are declining, then you do a little bit less. If you need a little bit more, a little bit more. Maybe you do minus 20 plus 20. Okay? So that's kind of a way to think of it. Depending on who you are, how much protein you need. It kind of depends. So right, adding your animal protein, if you do need protein and your kidneys aren't declining, but you need that extra protein, your animal proteins are going to get you to that amount a lot better, a lot faster. But your plant foods do have a good amount too. So let's say we have 8 grams from our tofu. We also have protein from our beans. And we're also going to have protein from our quinoa. And a little bit, I would say even more amount. So that's maybe going to give us like 15 grams or a little bit more. And then we have a little bit of protein from our fruits and vegetables. Not a lot, but a little bit more. So, you're getting to about 15, 20 grams. And you're kind of getting there with the more food products. So, it's not impossible. It is just easier on your body to digest and break down those proteins. So, anyway, little background on protein. That was a lot, wasn't it? But
Yes.
thanks for hanging in.
But more understandable.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, it just depends on everybody's body is different. I'm sorry, I should explain that.
No, those numbers. Those numbers. Now, because when I was taking a nutrition test.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, what the?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I remember some of the wording, but then how you're explaining it, it's like, oh.
It came together?
Right.
Let's see if it stays together. Okay, I'm gonna stuff this one away here. Okay. Alright, and then how long are we gonna put this in the oven for?
20 to 25 minutes.
Okay, I'll show you guys the blasting down there. But show you how I make it. So, okay, I stuffed all these. We're gonna put some more sauce on top, and then we'll put a little bit of extra cheese on top of that, okay? I'm gonna take this off. Does it completely coat the sauce, or just like?
Is it pour about half of the roasted tomato sauce when we did that coat the bottom? Place that, pour the rest of the sauce at the top.
Yeah, okay. So I should make it go. I'm just gonna do that. On the picture, you can kind of see, like they leave a little bit of sauce on everywhere on the top. Probably visually looks weird. I'll put a little on the side because it's okay. And then let's bring the cheese on top. So cover with foil and then last side. Right. voila, pre-baked. Okay, you guys see before and after? Okay, Julio, Ron, you wanna see it?
Yes.
So this is before we put it in the oven.
Yes, looks very delicious.
Looks delicioso.
Yes, send me something.
Good, okay, let's put it in. We'll put the foil on top. I'm just gonna use the foil from my last roasting dish, so I don't have to keep using more. Okay? Just, actually, just. Right, and we're just gonna put the foil over so that it protects it from burning. Okay?
DoorDash will be at your store in a couple of minutes.
What's that?
DoorDash will be at your door in a couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah, right, I wish I could do that. That would be nice. Yeah, wrong, Jim, I'll just overheat the food over after. Right? You guys don't have it.
Oh my God. These two together. I'm sorry. Lawrence and little Lawrence, they're together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
And how you guys doing? You excited?
That was really, really good. Now, this,
Interesting.
yeah,
Right.
blackberry brownie.
I agree. I'll tell you a story. During my internship, I have all these dietitians, and there's always something unhealthy, and sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little too healthy, let's fix it. So anyway, someone's running black brownie. And I'm like, what do you use flour? What do you use for your sugar? I just don't understand. Beans, like how do you make brownies out of beans? It just doesn't sound like it's tasty. Like I have to try this. And I was like on a really strict diet, so I wasn't supposed to. I'm like, I just have to try it because I've never heard of such a thing. So I ate a bite and I'm like, oh my goodness, they were delicious. I just couldn't believe it. She didn't use any flour or anything. So I don't have her recipe. I wish I did because it's so good. Yeah, I need to reach out to her and see if I can get it. It was so smooth and fluffy like brownie. The recipe I did, it uses oats. I was just trying to think of find a recipe that's super easy to put together and no flour or anything. It's easy, everyone has oatmeal or something like that. So we use oats. I feel like the oats give it a little bit more of a grittier. I can taste the oats. So I'm not too much of a fan of this recipe. It's not like it's bad. It's just maybe next time if I were to do it, I would use like more like oat flour or maybe you could do normal flour, but I might do a flour base instead of the oats. But it's not to say that it's bad. But yeah, the beans themselves, you can turn beans into flour. You can turn it into then pasta noodles. They have that, right? We had the chicken noodles, one cooking in the class, and it came out pretty good. So there's a lot more recipes coming out with bean flour and turning into pasta noodles and all types of things. And more protein and more fiber when you use that option versus using the flour or the white flour or stuff. Or even a whole wheat flour. There's more protein and fiber in that. So,
I want to tell you, after the chili,
yeah.
I was the fiber was really. I was like, ooh, wee. All day, I was so happy. Because when you're on vacation, you're like, oh man, I want to go, but I go.
Yeah. When you're eliminating and
Yes.
feel better, more energized. They say a lot of your health comes from your digestion.
Oh, really?
Absorbing,
It
yeah.
does.
Are you eliminating?
It really does.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a big question now. How is my digestion doing? How can I
Getting
do
old
better?
is not fun. Now I know what older people mean by that, because I always took it as a sign of wisdom. I never looked at things from from the back point of view.
Yeah.
To me, getting older, you're wiser, or some people, but you get wiser,
Yeah.
and we need that.
Yeah,
We need
yeah.
that in the world today, you
Yeah.
know, because the older people, they are wiser,
Yeah.
and we can learn from them.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
when I
They have a lot more insight.
I remember my dad did something with flour and water one time, I think because I was constipated or something. When I was younger, ew, what is that? It was really horrible to get down,
Yeah.
but it worked. It worked, and I was like, ew, I don't think I'll ever do it again.
What do you put in it?
I remember flour and water, that's all I remember, but I don't remember what else.
You could have put like an enzyme like an amount of flour. That's good. Yeah, yeah. You need a lot of fiber, so that's the other thing, the protein, the animal protein, it doesn't have fiber, so your meat, your chicken, your fish. Not to say they're bad, like they do have a source of protein, but there's no fiber. So if half a plate is a steak or ribs or something like that, we're not gonna.
Okay, sir, I gotta go. I got a doctor's appointment.
Oh, okay. All right, bye, Ron.
All right, you take care of yourself.
You too. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So magnesium,
Yeah.
is that a good source of fiber?
Magnesium is a nutrient itself, but if you do have it in beans and nuts.
Because I bought a can of magnesium.
Okay.
Don't get me, but
Oh, no.
I was like, someone told me to get magnesium or something. I don't know what. I never started to keep taking it, I don't know what I'm taking it for. I remember like the first class that we had, and I tried to get stevia, like everything you guys talked about.
Did you get this one? I think it was Julianne, right?
Yeah,
This one?
I sure did. What did I get it for?
Well, this one has a combination. Guess what? Look at it.
Because Lawrence is like, why did you buy that and you're not following the instructions?
This is nice because it's a different types of magnesium in there. So some magnesium you want to use for giving loose stool. So you want to use something more like magnesium citrate. But if you don't want looser stools, right, if they're on the looser side, then don't have the citrate. Have something more like, which is really a combination here. There's magnesium malate, magnesium, gluconate, there's a lot of different types of magnesium, probably a handful. Magnesium oxide, which we have this. No.
So, do I follow the instructions on there, but I need to know?
Well, you can titrate it for yourself. So basically, take your body weight and times it by 3.
Oh, I agree.
And that's about how much milligrams you want a day.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of how you can judge how much you need, but also you can titrate it based off your stools. Like if you want looser stools and all the fiber's not helping, you can maybe have a little bit more to help with that or a little less. If your stools are too loose.
The things like a meat is different, we have sometimes I would have I would say dairy, like,
Yeah.
like one day or whatever. And then other day, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Other day, I can be like, it's a little bit, but still, I'm okay with it. So it's like the,
But it's not regular, it's not.
constantly bending.
Yeah, it's just, one day you'll get this, one day you'll
But
get
I'm
that.
more like, well, the magnesium should help regulate, how much regulate, how much water is it?
Oh.
Oh, how much would you say that?
I drink it from like 3 bottles. Yeah. But I know that you drink it more.
Yeah, my doctor right now has me on 80 ounces a day, which is about 2.5 liters of port. So I put it in the fridge so I can see it. Or I have bigger glasses, I hold like 20 ounces of water, and I just pour it over. I'm good, but that kind of unusual. And because I was trying to overcome hemorrhoids. And
I'm with you right now. No, I have insurance. I have insurance.
I have been and I didn't
No,
know.
insurance, I have it. I started complaining that before, and I was with medication, from my friend taking, it gave me diarrhea. So I'm like, I have to be careful what.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, even they think it was go, not to constipating me, and I said, I don't think that, because I said, I prefer let it go than actually, yeah, they constipate, yeah.
That's always,
No, no, they give me, yeah, like when they, expire.
If they don't have it for school,
yes.
I take one twice a day.
I would say it's more, but, the magnesium is the water, and increasing the fiber,
Okay.
and
I don't see me being off of the medication anytime soon, if ever.
yeah,
So it's like, okay, I need something because I've been on the medication at least since 2015, when I had my first heart attack. So
yeah, I got that.
now that I'm 5 years later, it's like, oh my God, now I can't go. And I used to be regular at like 3 times a day was normal for me. And people used to be like, oh my gosh, she's always on the toilet. No, if I don't go these 3 times,
Yeah.
I'm hurting. So now it's like I feel pregnant and there's always cramping. Yes, lots of gas.
But that magnesium is like magnesium, is that correct?
This is kind of, I would say this type of magnesium may not give you looser bowels, but the magnesium citrate, yeah.
But with the water, see, the water is a.
Yeah, water is key. Think of, I'm trying to think, well, chia seeds are a great example, but have you ever seen chia seed? Soak in
The
water.
black seeds,
Think of like, kind of like gelatin when you're making jello, right? And how it firms up, right? It starts to bind together. So fiber is kind of like that. It swells up and it binds. So if you don't have enough water to swell up and bind, it's gonna kind of just get stiff and stay there and you're gonna cramp. You need the water to swell up more and soften the stool and then push it out. It will soften.
So TMI, is that I'm doing pellets?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many pellets, like,
If they have pellet, it means basically your stool's been in your system longer. And that's from that lovely book that Karen gave me on the toilet talk. That's what it said. If you have really good stools, they're like, we're not eating it, right?
yeah, I'm a PCA, so I can white button, still go eat.
Yeah. No, we don't get,
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so if you have regular schools, that doesn't pass through your system really quickly. And you probably didn't even absorb a lot of nutrients from it. Just kind of water rolls in.
that's what happens when we look at and then I
two sides of this, and that's it. But they don't show you, they don't sit down and talk like Sarah and I have done. I mean, I have to find information out on my own. All they want to do is cut and play, and I have not had surgery, but I have been able chronic for over a year. But I got them when I first
Ay,
had
ay, ay. No.
and so when it got to the point that they were uncontrollable, and so at this point, I'm trying to not to do surgery. The doctor here said, well, come back and see me when you're ready for surgery. And I said, goodbye. It's
How longer is gonna take? How longer is gonna take?
I'm permanent, I said that before.
Julio, we're pretty much all done with the chili rellenos. The brownies, we're gonna hold off a little bit. We're having a little conversation right now.
Okay, so the chiles, how long is gonna take?
Okay, it cooks for about 25 minutes.
25 minutes. You take it out of the oven and eat it. That's it, and they will be ready.
That's it. We're gonna garnish it with some cilantro and pumpkin seeds for the season. But
Okay.
that's it, and then you can serve from there and eat.
Okay, so I don't need to listen the rest.
No, you're okay.
Okay. Now remember to send me the recipe in Spanish.
Yes, Andrea's gonna translate it, and she'll give it to you within the next couple days, okay?
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. I will go. I will.
You're welcome,
Okay.
Julio. Okay, take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I would have said, but for some reason he was off limits to me. And he was only doing colonoscopy. So the other one, I went to see, I said, I told my primary care, Zach, okay, Zach, I think I'm gonna easily get along with it. I really just really good about that. And that sounds so long. It does, and this is the first time in all these years. I feel it. So anyway, I went to San Diego, go to the town, right on campus, and he was, that's something, I ended up with a phone,
Oh.
they were taking. Oh, and it was here, and I was here, and it was a very, so painful, because